All right, here, blast off. What was I gonna say? So what I'm planning on doing is just like looking through it on my second monitor, or maybe having you guys like having mods if you wanna participate in it. Just like go through some of the links as well before I pull it up, because like I don't want to socialist miss. It's very bad. Man, it's a fucking meme. First of all, the joke in and of itself is literally to say, are throne lists allowed, or is it only Amazon? What's a fucking throne list? The entire point of it is, oh God, I can't believe I'm always explaining the motherfucking jokes. Oh yeah. I just can't let something hang as it is. You know what I mean? I can't let it live. Okay. Amazon is on the BDS list. All right, socialism is canceled. Amazon's on the BDS list. I'm on the BDS list, motherfucker. I'm an Amazon employee. What do you want me to do? Oh my God. I quite literally utilize, just like every other fucking website that you use, straight up Amazon's web service and its web hosting capabilities on a daily basis. Unironically, one guy, I'm taking him out. Not sorry. No, don't take him out. No, he's doing it. He's doing activism. Okay, his activism is simply telling me what to not use. Okay. Yeah. These are the companies that are on the BDS list, by the way, and Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, is not one of them, but the pressure non-boycott targets are Amazon, Google, Expedia, Disney, Airbnb, and Booking.com. The consumer boycott targets, however, is AXA, Puma, Carrefour, Remax, Ahava, SodaStream, HB Siemens. The divestment targets are Elbit Systems, which is the Israeli weapons manufacturer, CAT for its participation in the CAT 9, like the IDF 9 bulldozers that they make, Barclays, TKH Security, HIK Vision, Chevron, Volvo, JCB, and Hyundai. And the organic boycott targets are Domino's Pizza, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Wix, and Burger King. Okay. How many Vicangles? What? I think like this site, for example, doesn't even have Starbucks on it. And the reason why people are anti-Starbucks, I think, is because like there was the Starbucks, like there was one of the Starbucks unions wanted to support Palestine, and Starbucks was like, nope, you're not allowed. And then it popped off. McDonald's is one of those that developed as a consequence of like the Israeli McDonald's giving IDF burgers, so they don't, they don't go hungry while they're doing ethnic cleansing. That sort of thing. Anyway. So, wait, did we even finish what socialism was? Chatter, wish list, and anything? Oh, yeah. Here, good question. Oh, God, I get derailed so fast because I have fucking dildos in here who are like, hey, dude, are you trying to fucking do something fun and nice for your community while also making a meme? Socialism is not about, like, a rich person giving things back to people who have less than them. That is the entire joke. The entire joke is that I'm calling it socialism is because it's what people think socialism is, when it's actually not. Who's eligible? If you're a subscriber, you can send a link, which means you are eligible to participate in it. That's it. And I'm just gonna randomly pick people. And I didn't want the mods to also like pick people from the community in general, because like I don't want to play favorites. Like I don't want to do any sort of like favoritism. You know what I mean? And I don't want people to like get mad at the mods and be like, oh, they didn't pick me because they have their own personal vendetta or something like that. It would be random forms and lottery. I mean, I guess we could do that. So originally, no, not right now. If Austin is willing to participate in it, it's going to be tomorrow. If Austin is not willing to if Austin can't participate in it, I'll do it on Sunday. This is fire. We got some fan art. Hasanabi Trip and Fall. I don't know what came over, but I had to draw more of these too. I don't typically do comic style posts, but so this was interesting. Whoa, careful, Mickey. You almost stepped on that dirty needle. You could have been hurt. Mr. Sullivan, you know, this reminds me of a certain mission from Yakuza. Blah, blah, blah. Yakuza, blah, blah. Kazuma Kiryu, blah, blah, blah. So cool. God, he's so insufferable. I have to fuck him. What the fuck? This is so stupid. Does that count as raffling? I love the idea. Don't want to ban for something nice. Wait, what? Raffling? Bro, it's not like a legal thing, okay? There are no legal standards, and I'm not gonna buy everything on your wish list either. I'm just gonna randomly pick shit and then buy some. That's it. Oh my god. This is already making me feel like I shouldn't do this. Every other content creator does things like this all the time, except this is the one community where this will be a fucking major problem because people will be like, this is a sweepstakes law that you're violating or some shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, why? Why can't I do something fun and nice within the community? Like, yeah, this is literally the YouTube banner competition because like it will become a ethical and moral conundrum, both from internal members of the community, but then also external haters who are waiting for any opportunity. You know what I mean? Most streamers don't read every single dumbass chatter. True. Anyway, here, blast off. Isn't this just Survivor Man bias? What? Survivor. Stop. You're not even trying. Now you're like trying to stunlock me by using wrong terminology. Survivor Man bias. I love that. That's funny. The fuggliest braid tubers are crackling their knuckles already. Anyway, there it is. All right, we're gonna do the Joe Rogan thing in a second, and we got some fun stuff lined up. Here is Sam realizing he bullied a kid who liked Naruto in 3rd grade.
When I was in like 3rd grade or something, I made fun of a kid for liking Naruto. He was ahead of the game. I had no idea. I didn't come to that realization until much later. Until much freaking later in life. But enough of this.
This is 100% something that I've noticed a lot as like a lifelong anime watcher and manga reader who was very embarrassed by that fact, but also like kind of jokingly played along with the weebs are fucking unbearable meta because weebs are really unbearable. Jesus Christ, fucking dial it back. You disgust me sometimes. I will say that anime has been incredibly, like, anime has had really just a pop off year after year after year after year moment in the Western world. Is actually what's going on. Is actually popping off. Anyway, it's like the best arc, the anime redemption arc. Yeah. Where's the BDS motherfucker now? He's gonna be like, bro, actually, I don't know if you know this. Sam Silek, also a part of BDS. I don't know if you know this. TikTok, also BDS. Also, anime is BDS across the board. Doesn't even fucking matter. Did you see that fucking Palestinian like anime rendition of the Al-Qassam Brigades? But in anime, literally still BDS. Can't do it. Top of the hour ad break, BDS. Can't subscribe. You have to see the ads, but you can't actually run the ad breaks either. Also BDS. Running ads, BDS. Chatter has his own list. Top of the hour ad break, however, is coming for you regardless. Now, you can't really boycott it, but you can avoid seeing the ad by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime as long as you have an Amazon Prime account connected to your Twitch account. Okay. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. You can also get gifted a sub from 50 MKD 34 MKD 50. Oh my God, as soon as I said it, he gifted 50 tier 1 subs. Holy shit, 34 MKD 50 is back. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. No, I'm boycotting by using an ad blocker. Ad blocker, BDS. Are you buying stuff for us off our wish list, or are you buying the stuff we want for yourself? I'm confused. Wait, what? That would be a really, really funny thing if I was like, Socialism is where I buy the things that you want. There's like a orphaned chatter. Okay? There's like an orphaned chatter in the chat who's like, I'm going to die if I don't get this. All I want is a Nintendo Switch for Christmas. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I have 2. I'm going to buy a 3rd one now. Fuck you, orphan chatter. That's like Ebenezer Scrooge ass shit. That's something that Soda would do, I feel like. I feel like Soda Poppin would do something like that, and then like the next stream he would just like break all of the things that you wanted. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, on this Christmas, I'm gonna play the role of Grinch. And then he's like, give me all your wish lists, and then I'm gonna buy it for myself. The top most expensive item from all of your wish lists, I'm gonna buy for myself, and then the next stream I'm gonna break them when they come in. Lud does this already, Lamau. He does? That's disgusting that he does that. Why would he do that? Fuck Ludwig. Anyway. This is also... we got read to filth, boys, okay? Can I just say, last night, I rated Cutie Cinderella. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but I rated into Cutie Cinderella. She was making gingerbread houses with this fucking charlatan, okay? With this fraud wig, okay? Wow, Vivek actually makes really good points and is good for the USA. Now that I have your attention, cleanboys.com. The fuck is this? This is the, I saw the intro for this. You make Clean Boys merch? That's great. This is the cleanest motherfucking website of all time, dude. Jesus Christ. Good shit. I refuse to watch because women are on the BDS list. You want my GTA token? What is a GTA token? Charlie Hunnam ripping your Donio accent in Rebel Moon. Oh, yeah, I watched a little bit of Rebel Moon, and it seems promising. It seems promising, but like also not great at the same time. I don't know. All right. Congratulations, Blau, for the Clean Boys merch. Hopefully I'll be getting some. Amazon gave everyone a free sub to any GTA streamer. Nice. But anyway, last night I'm watching and I get read to filth.
Okay, I'm Austin cutting off Cutie, who was just about to tell a story that was new, because I want to look at Hassan in the eyes, and I want to say, you wouldn't be a good bottom. Okay, ready? And can you start the story?
Yeah. So I was on the phone with Maya the other day.
Hassan, listen. I walk in this room, I can tell you would be a horrible bottom.
Hold on, Austin, bitch, shut up. Because he would be an amazing bottom.
Can we not have this conversation for the 50th?
Well, cutie, I will.
Would be hungry for all of it. Do you understand me?
Well, who's more fuckable, me or Hassan?
Oh, that's such a... You can't make me do that. You can't make me
Right. Maybe just all three of us. All right, and scene. Great. And
I can't believe that they watched the podcast that much. Okay? That's it. That's all I'm going to say about this. This is how much he watches the motherfucking podcast. Look at Cutie's face. She knows it's all true. Literally, every single episode just had penis talk this entire episode. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, though? I mean, it slaps. Damn, your biggest haters are your biggest fans. It hits. And people love it, dude. People love the fucking pod. They do. The podcast currently is like I think like probably my best performing product that I'm putting out there. Consistently popping off. consistently. Stavros finds new Twitch meta groundbreaking. Extra Emily's the goat of IRL. Ending homophobia with Ludwig and Aiden. A chat with Pokemon. Fear and drama. Troye Sivan, sexiest man alive. I mean, and the episodes that, in my opinion, are the most consistent bangers are obviously the ones where we're all together, all four of us, which is quite difficult because Will Neff is constantly self-sucking. And then Cutie Cinderella is also constantly self-sucking too. It's just like, you know, as much as I shit on Austin frequently, I will admit, I'm gay. I find you hot, but I think you talk about gay sex way too much, bro. It gets to the point that you're making fun of it, considering you're never gonna do it. I love that the gay agenda has turned into. The gay agenda has now turned into, yeah, dude, you have to fuck me now. Okay, I'm sorry. You have to fuck me or I'm going to consider you homophobic. Sick and tired of this. This is like when people go, dude, yeah, you got to take your shirt off, man. I can't tell what your body fat percentage is.
Breakdowns.
Yeah.
You have
I'm gay and I like you humbling Austin's straight ass. Wait, did I read that correctly from Bussy Angel? It went away. I can't find it. You need to do flexibility training instead of getting collectively hotter so the self-suck causes less accidents. I agree. Anyway, so regardless, what was I saying? You forgot to thank someone, March. I'm gay and I like you humbling Austin straight ass. Oh, you did literally call Austin straight. I have a normie friend whose only real interaction with Twitch is XQC, but loves Fear and. Yeah, I think Fear and is like a very good, consistently very good podcast. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy it. And people seem to enjoy it a lot as well. Speaking of Fear and, the Fear and crew went up and went toe-to-toe with OTV on a special Christmas episode where we basically tortured one another. Hassan will defend, if you're going to use it as a joke as often as you do, Hassan will defend his jokes until death. Wouldn't bother trying to get through on that front. Well, I punch up. You're absolutely correct. I will defend the principles of joking till death. I agree. I think it's very good to do that. Like, not just my jokes in particular, but other people's jokes as well. So, you're not wrong if you're going to use it as a joke as often as you do. Even Ludwig's cat has beef with you? Yeah, what the fuck's that about? Also, notice how Austin is the one who brought up the bottoming situation, not me, in that conversation. I'm just following along. And I don't know if you guys know this, but he's gay. Shh, don't tell anybody. He's the gay one. And he's the one who brought it up. Anyway, making white woman jokes is not punching up, bro. What? I don't know. All right, let's continue.
Do you want to meow if you think Hassan is an evil man? Oh, okay.
Or that's fucked up. That's child abuse. That's actually child abuse. Yeah, he gagged me. Coots gagged me. Have you even met Coots? Fuck yeah, I've met Coots. You know what's crazy? I was listening to Cutie talk about like the pod in general and how much we talk about like gay stuff and Dixon stuff on the podcast. And it literally did make me feel like she unironically hates the podcast and is not just memeing. Made me kind of sad. I won't lie. It's the same episode every single time. People say this, but they love it. So what the fuck's going on? Here, for those of you who don't know, I actually did squash my beef with cats. Except, turns out, maybe it wasn't. So happy you finally got some pussy, King. Jesus Christ, this is funny. I'm like liking people's responses. Turns out Coots hated it as much as Mom hates your podcast. Yeah. The podcast is like a warm fireside chat, like a modern day FDR. That's crazy that you compared the Fear and podcast to a modern day fireside chat. Like, Austin is the FDR of being a selfish top. He's brought a real New Deal kind of vibe to being a selfish top. Anyway, you think FDR wouldn't have rated tits with Stavros? Lol, exactly. Love the pop, but the chairs look so uncomfortable in the new set. Will there be more comfortable chairs in the future? No, we're gonna make them less comfortable. Fuck you. Anyway. All right, where was I? What was I talking about? We got a thing on the on streaming sites now is that guys are paid a wage to bet with fake paper money on betting sites all day to make kids addicted to gambling. This is 100 times more destructive to the lives of teenagers than every softcore porn on Twitch people get mad about on here. I agree with this concept, of course. Aiden Ross gambled over $2 billion. Nice, dude. What's even wilder that this isn't allowed on Twitch anymore because of it. It is allowed on Kick, which is run by the guy who owns the state casino. And it's so lucrative, they started a new streaming place and bought some of the biggest Twitch guys to just keep it going. Well, yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. There's just, like, not much I can do about it anyway. All right. Oh, this is the new... I saw this earlier. This lady has been going crazy because I responded to her. She's going nuts. You should try this method when you get one guide.
Yo! You just hit my car? You just hit my car?
No, I tapped it. Just to say, don't stop right there. You stop right in the sidewalk. This is a tap.
Bro, don't do that to my car, bro. What's wrong with you, bro?
It's a way of talking to you. Don't stop in the middle of the sidewalk. Hi.
Yo, this ain't real, is it?
What's that?
Is this real?
You have a
Is
gun?
this
Are
really?
you gonna take out a gun and shoot me now?
Is this really happening?
Yeah, I'm talking to you like an adult. One adult talk. Oh, that's new to you. Okay. So agree.
All right, bro. Yo.
He kind of diffused it while also being incredibly snarky. I love it. This, in my opinion, this is in line with that other dude that we saw, the r/atheist style dude with the fucking, with the ponytail being like, no, I will have both. I will have gay rights and economic liberties. Like, it's basically in the same vein as, like, refusing to be put in this, like, awkward confine that the other person with a fucking camera has placed upon you, and then not playing ball and just basically just going, no, I'm doing my own thing, actually. Sorry about that. Have a great day. I love that. I love that. I love that type of thing. I love that type of energy where it's like, what's going on? I feel like TikTok has rotted people's brains into thinking that, like, every conversation has to be a debate. Every conversation has to be a fucking debate, and the debate confines are designed by the guy who is, like, trying to milk content out of you. You know what I mean? Why? Why is that the way? I refuse. Where do we send the wish list? Just in your chat? I'm going to lose my mind. It's not today. It's not today. It's not. The wish list is not today, okay? I never said it was today. Nobody's reading the pinned message. Nobody knows how to read.
LGBTQ rights or economic stability? Why can't you have both? You need to pick one. I refuse the question. You can't refuse the question. I do. But you can't. But I did. But you need to pick one. No, I don't. I just said you did. So what? Can you pick one? No, because they're both doable. No, only one. I don't have to pick one because you can have both. But the answer is both is not an answer. It's not a...
It's so great, especially because he has this, like, profound confidence here where he's just going, no, that's your thing. I don't want to do your thing. I want to do my thing, which means I can have both. Why not? Why can't we have both?
Valid answer. I reject your question. You can't reject it. I just did. Can you pick one? I don't have to. Why? Because they're both completely doable. So LGBTQ rights or economic stability? Both. That's not an answer. Yes, it is. LGBTQ rights or economic stability.
Because, like, what this guy is doing is presenting a false dichotomy. Okay? These issues are not, like, mutually exclusive. You can have both of these things, right? But the problem is, in a lot of instances, the way conversations work, you kind of always want to go along with the other person's framing, right? You want to always go along with the other person's framing, but it's a trap. There's no fucking reason to do that. I mean, this guy obviously doesn't play by the rules, okay? It's very clearly fall, and my dude's got his toes out. He's wearing jeans with open-toe sandals. So he's not exactly the type of dude who's playing by the rules at all. And that's what he didn't recognize. That's what this fine Jesus guy didn't recognize at all. Because, like, he's also wearing leather. He's wearing a leather jacket. So which one is it? You know what I mean? You got the leather jacket on and you got the open-toe sandals.
Both. Are you trying to troll me? No. I'm just wondering which one you like more.
I like them both.
You can't have both.
Yes, you can.
Not in this question.
Too bad.
Why are you trolling me right now?
Because I don't have to choose.
All right, what if I had to ask you gender inclusivity or economic stability?
You can have both.
You can't. Why you make this so difficult? I'm trying to pass my final.
Too bad.
Which one do you pick?
I pick them both.
But that's not a valid answer.
Too bad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Probably a self-report, but what's wrong with this guy's fit? Come on, brother. Did you just say was? I mean, there's nothing wrong with this guy's fit, really. Because, like, wear whatever the fuck you want, right? But also, come on, he's got the Bluetooth headset. He's got the most Reddit atheist haircut I've ever seen. He's got a leather jacket on with jeans with open toe sandals in the middle of fucking fall. What are we talking about? What's wrong with it is, like, why aren't you wearing boots or some shit? What's happening? Why you got the toes out? Anyway. His fit is designed for insulation and air circulation with leather protection. That's a weirdo biker fit. No biker's fucking wearing sandals. What are you talking about? Next time she say me or the PS5. Yeah. Anyway. He doesn't have socks on the other foot. I think he has a green thing on his thumb toe. But like a Band-Aid. So regardless, I mean, I guess he's doing temperature regulation as perfectly as he possibly can, right? So that's what's going on. But what I was trying to say is we're straying away from what the main point I was trying to make here. The main point I was trying to make here is that, like, you don't really have to accept the framing that disingenuous weirdos are presenting to you without a camera, with or without a camera. You can just, like, live your own life. And as long as you do it in a confident manner, you know, that's it. It's great. It's wonderful. It's awesome. I mean, you can play along if it's like a fun thing, right? Like the would you rather concept is supposed to be a fun thing with low stakes, right? Like, would you rather never get blowjobs the rest of your life or never eat hamburgers for the rest of your life? Like, that's, I mean, it's a devastating proposition, but, like, obviously the stakes are low because it's, like, ridiculous. It's not like, would you rather have gay people be executed, but then you get health care? You know what I mean? Like, that framing on all of a sudden turns it into, like, a super serious subject for no fucking reason. You know? Gay son or thought daughter is a great example of this because it's, like, it's teetering on the edge of, like, depending on who's presenting the dichotomy, it's teetering on the edge of, like, seriousness or completely unserious. And even in that situation, you could say both, which would be very cool. Yeah, I want a gay son and a thought daughter. I want my gay son to be a thought, and I want my thought daughter to be gay. What's up? More correctly, it's refusing to accept the premise of the question like these two things are mutually exclusive. Yes, my point is this, okay? A lot of people want to be polite. That's how, normal human interactions work. And some people take advantage of that politeness by trying to spear dick a fucking narrative into that conversation, right? And that is the issue. So most people who want to maintain normal social standards go along with this false framing being presented oftentimes by a dude with a different reason, right? And it's not good. So you can reject debate lords. I like that people reject the framing that other people impose upon you. That's a cool thing. That's cool that people are just going, nah, not really. But you always have to do it in a very polite way, in a way that just says, like, I'm standing on my own 2 feet. I'm confident. Speaking of people who are confident and sometimes confidently incorrect, Joseph Robinette Rogan. Folks, it's been a long time since I watched a Joe Rogan video on this broadcast. I feel like he's fallen off a little bit. Like, he's so hyper invested in COVID stuff. He rarely ever has, like, cool people on. He did have Stavi Baby on recently. Right? And, we're just going to hit the Joe Rogan thing raw. No cute girl in the studio, none of that. Just hitting it raw. Just you and me, baby. You on the other side of that screen, whether you're on a laptop, on your phone as you're delivering Amazon packages across the neighborhood, and just me. We're watching this shit. Joe Rogan apparently had a little flub and was fact-checked again in real time by Mr. Jamie.
Well, there's people that voted for Biden that are doing it now. They're like, what did I do?
Right.
Like, what did I choose? Like, how is this guy?
Yeah, you just can't listen to an interview or he's saying some of the stuff he said.
Bro, this dude has literally a video game character from 2007 haircut. Like, I don't know if it's the low pixelation. I don't know what's going on. This is unironically Max Payne 1, okay? My dude's got the Max Payne 1 haircut. What the fuck? How does it stay like that? How does it stay like that? I feel like his hair is more powerful than the headphones. Like, you know how people go, haha, you have a head dent, right? Like, oh, you took your fucking headset off and you're like, oh, your hair and you're in the top of your dome, it's got a dent. It's like, no, this dude literally breaks the fucking headset with his hair. I don't know how he did it, but congratulations.
Says it just makes no sense at all. It's like you can't listen to those interviews and feel like you made a good decision. I don't know how you could.
Did you hear what he said like yesterday or a couple days ago?
Mm-mm.
He was talking about the Revolutionary War. He's like, one of the reasons why we lost the Revolutionary War, one of the problems with the Revolutionary War was they didn't have enough airports.
So this is an interesting start to the conversation because there are a tremendous number of Biden flubs and gaffes and goofs that you could point to because my man is a gaffe machine. My man was a gaffe machine even when he was all there, right? Great retail politician, gaffe machine across the board. There's never been a moment in Joe Brandon's career where he hasn't like said some silly shit. And also a serial liar and plagiarizer, right? That's kind of his thing. That's always been his shtick. If you track Joe Biden's career, you would recognize that he's always popped off with like plagiarism and also embellishing his past in a way that is not dissimilar to George Santos in many ways. But recently, of course, he has, he doesn't have the mental acuity that he used to have. He doesn't have the mental fortitude. He's not all there, right? In the way that you, as long as, when you get older, in the way that you see your grandparents kind of start to not have the same light behind the eyes. So there's plenty of moments that you can point to with respect to Mr. Robinette Brandon, except Joseph Robinette Rogan posted something weird. So let's take a look at what happens here.
Have you seen that?
I saw that. Like,
Have you seen
what
that?
the hell?
Like, pull him.
It's
Imagine
crazy.
If you had any other job and you were talking like that,
Yeah.
they would go, "Hey, you're done."
A few moments later.
The same stable genius that said the biggest problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports. Whoa.
Yeah, that's it.
Whoa.
All right,
What?
Just for the record.
Is that fake?
It's not fake, but he was referencing Trump saying that. Here's what Trump saying it in 2019.
Oh.
Donald Trump said something about that, and he didn't say
Okay, so here's one thing that I find to be a massive mistake for the Biden campaign. Talking about Trump's mental fortitude. Now, I know there's a lot of Democratic Party dick riders in the chat who will unconditionally support the Democratic Party no matter what, and they will say things like, you know, Joe Biden is actually all there. This is a moment where Joe Rogan fucked up. But I have a different perspective on this. But I do love Joe Rogan fucking up like this and having Jamie live fact check.
Jesus. He said a stable genius, and that's where the transcription.
Let me hear what it says. What did he say?
In June of 1775, the Continental Congress created a unified army out of the revolutionary forces encamped around Boston and New York, and named after the great George Washington, Commander-in-Chief. The Continental Army suffered a bitter winter of Valley Forge, found glory across the waters of the Delaware, and seized victory from Cornwallis of Yorktown. Our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What? Yo! Oh, the Revolutionary Army.
So he fucked up.
Yeah, he did. But I feel like
Took over
that's
the airport.
you can tell too. It sounds like a little different. He's like, you could tell he like messed up his words, but yeah, he was just.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, never mind. Okay, got it.
I don't know.
Took over the airports.
Well, that's
Oh, come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can say Trump says some dumb shit too. What the fuck? That's crazy.
That's the thing about media these days. It's like
right.
Oh, yeah. It's a much larger problem with media. Bitch, where are you at? You're at the Joe Rogan Experience. You are literally the media doing the wrong thing. Okay. So, what I was going to say about this piece is that there's a couple different things. First of all, you know what my perspective is, right? I do think that what do I always say? I say Donald Trump is delusional, but he's not demented, right? Whereas Joe Biden, on the other hand, comes across like he doesn't have the mental fortitude that he once had, but at least like the team holding it together demonstrates a level of stability. Now, that stability is still bad overall, like what you've seen during this saga of the Israeli ethnic cleansing of Gaza, right? That doesn't mean it's good policy, but it is actually stable. It is real stability. And it's not Brandon himself doing this stability, it's the people around him, right? So that's something to consider. Trump has always done stuff like this. He gets shit wrong all the time. But if you put Trump and Joe Biden side by side, toe to toe in a motherfucking jail cell where they're going for 30 minutes without any scripting, without any prompters, yeah, I think Trump is absolutely going to look like he is cognitively better than Joe Biden. Okay? What's really sad is that those are the two options in the United States of America in front of us. Okay? We have 800-year-old Joe Biden, who definitely is showing his age. And then you have like 799-year-old Donald Trump, who will be older than Joe Biden was when he ran for president and won, right? This time around, with definitely seemingly better mental acuity, however, is a fucking delusional, despotic psychopath who keeps getting worse and worse with his rhetoric this time around. The real argument is not 99% Hitler versus 100% Hitler. It's 99% demented versus 100% demented. Or both. Why not both? If you look at the stats, one is like 100% demented, one is 99% demented. If you look at the other stats, one is 100% Hitler, the other is 99% Hitler. It's great. It's great stuff overall. Wonderful that this is like the number one country. You know, we're the wealthiest nation on earth. We are the dominating force. We are the hegemonic superpower keeping this entire thing going. Certainly doesn't spell doom and gloom for the rest of the world and for ourselves. Regardless. No, right in George Santos. Yeah. Joe Biden is too old to be an effective president. Yeah, this is the classic conundrum. At age 78, when he took office in 2021, Joe Biden was too old to be an effective president. Donald Trump will make an excellent president when he takes office at age 78 in 2025. Exactly. I mean, I just mentioned that, right? Like, it's a race to the bottom in the worst ways possible. Donald Trump will be the same age, I think older, as a matter of fact, than Joe Biden was by a little bit when he ran and became the president. It's crazy. Anyway, why not both is literally what happened in German politics after the war, where we simply let multiple parties govern. If the numbers give no one a majority, USA should try that once to unify the country. Yeah. Okay. One is doing Hitler, one is saying Hitler, you know, in a poetic way. They complete each other. No, the Chuck Schumer retort to Donald Trump being like, immigrants are poisoning the blood of Americans is the perfect demonstration of how the two-party structure creates the ratcheting effect that makes us basically either crawl or sprint towards full tilt fascism. One side is literally going, no, we are actually fascists, and we're so fascist that I'm just basically plagiarizing Hitler. The other side goes, oh my God, that guy's plagiarizing Hitler, except, you know, what he's saying is true. He just shouldn't say it like that. And that, to me, is insane. I feel like whenever, in the past 10 years of my coverage of American politics, I felt like I have kept repeating the same points over and over again, reiterating it over and over again, with different cycles of like other people getting on board with what I have to say and recognizing that reality and then forgetting all about it every 4 years when MSNBC and CNN decides that, Democrats are going to maintain stability or some shit, right? People forget that. And it's like, it is at the heart of my criticism of the Democratic Party, because I criticize the Democratic Party for being too close to the Republican Party in politics. This does not mean I like the Republican Party. I like the Republican Party less than I like the Democratic Party, obviously. Okay? So, definitely very sad state of affairs. And not great. People agree with Hassan until porn is brought up. Oh my God, don't bring back the sex work conversation again. What is Tucker doing? Oh yeah, this is from being the most watched anchor in the country to this. Nelk boys are keeping Tucker Carlson's memes alive as desperately as they possibly can. Hate watching a rival podcast? Oh, Joe Rogan. Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, as far as the Joe Rogan thing goes, yeah, he got owned, right? He got owned, and that's great. That's fun to watch. And it's a really revelatory, it's a really revealing moment. Or not revelatory. The really revealing moment where you look at the situation, he recognizes what's going on, And then he still is like kind of trying to defend the principles, right? And for me, revelatory is correct, actually. I know, but there's no reason to say revelatory. You can say revealing. It's easier. For me, it doesn't make sense on numerous issues. If I'm Joe Biden, I'm probably not trying to, if I'm Joe Biden or if I'm on Joe Biden's team, I'm probably not trying to talk about mental acuity at all across the board. I'm certainly not trying to lap Trump on that, because politics are very simple in many instances. In the way that people recognize you, there's a lot of feelings involved. There's a lot of just like not really thinking about things clearly and logically. It's mostly team sports. You either vote for Democrat because you're a Democrat, you feel Democrat, or you vote for Republican because your parents did and you feel a Republican, yada, 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 right? And then beyond it, there's a lot of vibes at play. And when you look at the vibes of the situation, and when you look at it and you analyze like the Biden, the vibes that Biden is putting out there and the things that Biden is saying and the way that he performs, especially when he is unscripted for a very long period of time, when he has to respond to questions, right? When he has to sit there and respond to questions, when he's like off the cuff, it looks very sad. It's very rough. And that is part of the reason why 75% of the Democratic Party did not want him to run again. I don't know if those numbers have changed recently. I'm sure that like inevitably a lot of Democrats are going to fall in line. But that still leaves a lot of people who would have voted for the Democratic Party who just don't feel enthusiastic enough to vote for the Democratic Party. Okay? And that's a big flub. That's a big mistake. And one that we should be very familiar with the Democratic Party at this point. It's kind of their modus operandi. We did this with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, and pushing for Hillary Clinton as the candidate for the Democratic Party was a major mistake. Being incredibly confident about her chances, destroying Donald Trump, was a major mistake. Right? Many voters will be motivated to vote against Trump. Nikki Haley would easily beat Biden, though. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, Nikki Haley would, in my opinion, have a pretty solid shot here. But Nikki Haley can't get it out. Nikki Haley can't get out of the Republican Party's primaries. This is something I've brought up a bunch. The Republican Party's incredibly aggressive, incredibly reactionary, far-right base of support is the base that votes in the primaries. But that base, and if you feed into that base, is going to make you nasty and icky and not exactly likable to a broader audience. The general voter population is going to look at that and go, ugh, that's too much instability for me. I remember the Trump administration. I remember the Trump years. I don't like that. I don't want to be a part of that. Okay? So, also, the Dem strategy is supposed to be business as usual, but that doesn't land when your incumbent candidate for that is barely held together on a good day. Biden is the little personification of the Dems' crumbling strategy. It's really interesting to think about this, because if I were to make an honest assessment, remove Biden from the equation, look at the Democratic Party's operations this time around, the last couple of like very far right things that they've done, like signaling to the crowd that they're going to be even more reactionary and more white nativist on immigration policy, beyond with those exceptions, overall on like trade protectionist policies, or when trying to improve manufacturing output in this country, like the Biden administration has taken a lot of steps in the positive direction. Obviously, the bar is like way below the ground. It's beneath the ground. But I haven't mixed my words on this. I've said allowing the NLRB to operate in the way that it has so far has made the Biden administration literally more pro-labor than the Obama administration, like objectively, demonstrably, right? The Inflation Reduction Act had some pretty solid provisions in it. You have manufacturing. You have opened up a bunch of factories in different parts of the country. These are going to have very positive these are going to have very positive effects on the American economy in the next 5 to 10 years. So there's a lot going on. You also have the antitrust working on the other side as well. Don't know how positive that's going to be. I don't know if they will rein in Lena Khan in the next administration or not. But overall, there are some good things that the Biden administration has done. But the problem is the figurehead for these policies is seen as like a doddering old fool, and that's not good. Minced words, babe, not mixed. Sorry. Minced words. So it is what it is. I don't know. I think the way I look at it, the Biden administration is going to be seen as an administration full of chaos, like years later down the line. We will not remember the good gains made on any fronts. And we will remember him as, and I'm not saying that this is a correct way to approach him, but many people, I think, will remember him as the guy who, one, genuinely facilitated the ethnic cleansing in Gaza, which continued the Trump-era policies of the Abraham Accords and moving the embassy to Jerusalem and all of that. The guy who also got us into a proxy war with Russia. Once again, this is also Russia's failure and Russia's doing, certainly, right? But this is the way that people are going to perceive him, in my opinion. If I'm to remove myself from like immediately looking at this situation and just like pull myself out of it and try to think about what people will remember, they're going to think pulling out of Afghanistan was a positive thing. I think that years later, years down the line, I think people are going to probably look at pulling out of Afghanistan as a positive thing. They'll say that was good, and then what came after is very, very bad, right? Because people don't necessarily look at the situation and analyze the situation in front of them adequately, okay? But his administration is certainly the one where, you know, the war in Ukraine happened, and that will be presented as one that is America's fault, because America does involve itself in everything happening at the global stage. Okay? His administration will be remembered with Israel's actions in Gaza and allowing that to continue in the way that it did, in the way that it has. His administration, unfortunately, will be remembered as like the old man trying to steer the ship and failing to do so effectively. I don't personally believe that there's a singular guy out there who controls the government. I don't, especially not in a situation where you have Joe Biden being brought out of a fucking vat every day to deliver 2.5 hours of, like, you know, media press junkets or whatever. I don't think he's like actually steering the ship regardless, but that is how people will remember him. The other thing, of course, is that Roe v. Wade was destroyed under his reign. That's another thing that people will bring up. So, I don't know. It's sad, because I feel like a more charismatic, younger, more dynamic leader that didn't make some major mistakes with respect to America's foreign policy, for example, would very likely look like a really positive figure that was able to change America's course, change America's trajectory. Because there are good things that his administration did, like I said. Right? It's very weird. But I guess that's perfect for Joe Biden, who has spent his entire political career trying to triangulate the median voter, trying to always be dead center on issues from the Democratic Party. And that's precisely what has happened. And of course, it means that he is, due to the material conditions and what those conditions demand from the adults in the room, like what kind of economic stability measures have to be put in place, that is going to make whoever is steering the ship look like they are more progressive than prior administrations. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that Biden is just like incredibly fucking reactionary on, especially when we are talking about a country that has gotten way more right-wing over the course of the past 30, 40 years. I like how charitable you are, even with this ghouls, man. Thank you. I mean, yeah. I feel like people would have viewed Roe v. Wade better if Biden tried to fight it on the courts instead of being like, oh, well, I don't want to politicize the court. I think a court battle should have been fought. Court packing should have been something to like at least implement or try to implement. And those who say Cinema and Manchin fucked Biden over don't understand how inside baseball is played. Right? I'm sorry, chatters, but I know that I have a lot of pie in the sky ideas, and I'm an idealist, and sometimes that come across that sometimes people like to say, oh, what you want to happen is what you are saying can happen immediately. That's not what I'm saying at all. There's two different kinds of analysis that I engage in all the time. One is what I think should happen because it's good, and one is what I think the Democrats could be doing that they're not doing, not only because it would be good for the future of the country, but it would be good politics. I talk about politics and policy all the time. Republicans have bad policy, but very good politics. They love playing politics. Democrats, on the other hand, are supposed to have good policies. They at least advocate for good policies when they're not in a position of power, but they have horrible politics. They do horrible politics, just awful politics in general. So when I'm talking about the Democratic Party, when I put my electoralist Andy hat on, I am actually criticizing the Democratic Party as a Democratic voter. Okay? Very different than my what I think is like the moral thing for the Democratic Party to do, the courage to demonstrate moral leadership, to do the right thing, even if it might be perceived as unpopular in the short term. And as far as Manchin and Cinema goes, even without considering their political positions, here is why it was a major failure. People hate gridlocked Senate. People hate gridlocked Congress, okay? They hate it more than anything else. I can tell you after years and years of covering this stuff with 99% certainty that doesn't matter how bad a fucking bill is, okay? If you pass it fast, if you pass it swiftly, you will not expend a lot of political capital for passing it. Obviously, if the bill's impact or the changes made ruin people's lives in ways that they can experience, that's a little different. Roe v. Wade, the destruction of Roe v. Wade and the protections that it offered to women is a perfect example of like, yeah, if you pass that or if you change that, Americans' lives are going to be materially harmed immediately, and they will know that you are at fault for it, you are responsible for it. But as far as like tax cuts, for example, tax cuts on the wealthy and the entire American population, that was passed expeditiously under the Trump administration, and people did not have the time to even like gather their opinions on it. And in comparison to how much political capital was expended to pass that, right? In comparison to how much political capital was expended to pass those tax cuts, if you compare that to something that is objectively good, like Obamacare, and how long that process took, you come to the recognition that people care almost less about like the actual benefits that they got from it or the actual damages that it contributed to, and more about how long it took to pass something, right? Yeah, we should for sure let the government take more of our money. They always use it wisely. Don't worry, Bone Doc. You're going to get your fucking taxes automatically increased again because you're not a part of the top 1%. That's right. 2025, baby. You're going to be paying more in taxes next year when your fucking tax cuts get sunsetted. You know whose tax cuts are not getting sunsetted and are unironically permanent, made permanent by the Trump taxes I was talking about? Mine, jackass. You don't know what's good for you, dog. You just think about it from the perspective of like, oh man, the government's stealing my money. It's just like an incredibly reactionary opinion. Oh my God. Anyway. So, what about other tax for people like the people who have to watch the ad break at the top of the hour? Fuck you. God damn it. That's like such a weak ass debate that I got clapped with. At the top of the hour, there is a little bit of a Obamacare style situation in the form of a 3-minute ad break. It doesn't give you care. It doesn't help you at all. And it's broadly viewed as unpopular. So it's not like Obamacare at all, which at least had some very decent provisions in it, like the pre-existing condition mandated coverage. Okay? Anyway, the 3-minute ad break is upon us. It's a bit like Obamacare if you get gifted a sub. If you're lucky, here's a 3-minute ad break now. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the last thing I wanted to say about the Joe Rogan saga is that he fucked up 34 MKD50 with another 50 big ones. Holy moly, we're back. We're so back, boys. The other thing I wanted to mention about Joe Brandon versus Donald Trump is that I would stay away. I would stay away from talking about mental acuity and cognitive functionality if I was on the Brandon camp. I would simply try to show, that Brandon still got it, pump him full of drugs, whatever. Meth surfy. Give him some meth surfy. Thank you for the $5, get the subs. I don't know what that means. And try to make it seem like Joe Brandon is actually still kicking, all right? But that is a major problem for Joe. That's a major, major problem for Joe, that he looks fucking real bad on camera. And it's not just like TikToks fucking showing that he's slipping, okay? A lot of people love placing the emphasis on TikTok. They're like, oh, why are the youth anti-Israel and pro-Palestine? It must be TikToks. It's like, TikTok is not doing what you think it's doing, okay? Unless you are openly stating that, like, the complete media control of a narrative is what should be the reality, is what was the reality, and TikTok is kind of breaking through that, which is why, people have a different perspective. In which case, there is truth to it. There is definitely truth to that. TikTok has a lot of bad. There's a lot of conspiracies, a lot of silly nonsense. But TikTok also does constantly fucking show things to you that you are not going to get in traditional legacy publishers and mainstream media, right? Every now and then, the New York Times will write an article about Biden's lost his step, but ultimately, they know not to cover that sort of thing, right? Same with fucking Israel-Palestine. Mainstream media very rarely and very reluctantly covers the impact of the Israeli campaign of ethnic cleansing in Gaza. It has taken them 80 fucking days to finally get to the point where they're like, yeah, these Palestinians are being slaughtered and it's kind of ruthless. It's just kind of fucked up, actually. It's taken them 20,000 deaths, more than 10,000 children being murdered ruthlessly by the Israeli rockets that we give them, by the Israeli missiles, by the Israeli artillery that we give them. And only now is the media basically saying, like, yeah, maybe we should dial this back a little bit. And now you're also seeing, like, the State Department-backed Democrats actually outflank Joe Biden on this issue because they are recognizing that, like, okay, this has become untenable. This has become unmanageable. This is actually making, this is actually making the Biden administration in America look bad, right? Hasancığım bir dakika reklam oluyor mu? Güya kapitalist karşısın sen. Bir dakika değil kardeş. 3 dakika. 1 dakika 30. dakikada 1 dakika veriyorum. 4 dakika total 1 saatte. Kontrakt. Ama zaten sen Türkiye'desin. Büyük ihtimalle görmüyorsun adleri. O yüzden boş ver. Sıkılma. Okay? Anyway. The Delta social media person reacting to that, reading that thread. Oh, yeah. We're going to get to the immigrant thing in a second. This being an election year upcoming is a double-edged sword. I just think that there was definitely a much better... There's definitely a much better way to manage the situation than the way that Biden managed it. And the way that Anthony Blinken is managing it, where they come across like they're weak. They offer unconditional support while simultaneously saying, okay, don't kill civilians. But because they can't control the narrative across the board that no civilians are being killed, because we have more unfettered access to actually seeing the civilians being ruthlessly slaughtered directly due to independent media, due to the fact that everyone has a fucking, a camera phone, a phone with a camera on it, and access to the internet, it's very different than prior versions of any other conflict that has played itself out around the planet. That's it. And I think that a lot of the older individuals within the State Department and within the Biden administration have not really ever considered what that reality looks like and how to work on manipulating the new methods of information dissemination instead of just hyper relying on the older television watchers, which do still comprise the majority of voters, right? Those are the people who still vote. And that's why you look like you are allowing our partner to do gross and inhumane acts that you simultaneously recognize are kind of fucked up, while your inability to stop them is what people will remember. You're America, after all. If I am the median voter, I'm looking at Biden and I'm like, I love Israel. I've always loved Israel. Israel can do nothing wrong. That's what television tells me as well. But also, it does seem like Israel's getting a little ahead of itself. And then the Biden administration keeps saying, don't kill civilians. But then now I'm seeing like some of these reports, and it doesn't look like Israel's doing great stuff here. Maybe what's going on? Are we just like are we the paper tiger now? Are we not allowed to control our allies now? Like, what the fuck is this shit about?
Damn, this guy's good.